219-845-1100. If you're a union person or a non-union person and you have a question or a comment or you want to tell these guys something, today's your chance, especially about what topics they should be covering, because, you know, there's so much out there. But I got to believe that central to what you guys talk about is how to get the message out to folks about what you guys do, and basically looking out for the middle class. And
that's correct.
And I don't know how that, you know, I don't even know how to do that. And that's what I do, is I get the message out about a zillion different things, because what you guys do is to not only protect the rights of your individual members, but also of the middle class to some extent. And I don't know if there's a disjoint there or what's going on. But Harvey, what do you? I mean, you have an average person that is not a union worker, and say they work in, you know, maybe they own a small business or something, or maybe they're an employee in a small business. I mean, how do you convince them that you're looking out for their rights?
Well, I do some of the organizing for the local, and that's the challenge every time you go to organize. People are comfortable to an extent with their employers, and when we come in and tell them some of the things that's being exploited of them, or some of the benefits they could have of being in the union, it's tough to get over that hurdle, because obviously the owner or whoever's in control of the payroll is signing their checks, and you know they want those checks to be kept on being signed.
Now, you talk about the benefits of being in the union. I mean, like when you're trying to sell that to folks and you're out there organizing, and I already know the answer to a lot of this because my uncle was the organizer for the Carpenters for a long time, but I'll ask it to you. You go into someone and you're trying to organize them. What are you telling them? What's the major benefits of being in the Teamsters?
Well, a lot of people don't realize Indiana's at will employment, and one of the major things of a union contract is
You drawing a blank?
I'm nervous.
Just
cause. You
just
have
cause. There you go.
It's every one of our contracts that you have to just cause to be terminated. And a lot of people don't realize your employer, they don't like the shirt that you wear, the color, or the car you're driving. They can terminate you for any reason if you don't have a union contract.
Or no reason at all.
Or no reason
at all, I think, is written into that.
Right.
And on the other side, many of the downstate Republicans are touting that as an advantage for bringing business here, that you actually can fire people at will. And there's a bit of a struggle on that. So when you're going in and talking to people, how does that, I mean, when you hear that, when you try to explain to people, hey, listen, you know, your employer could fire you for no reason at all, or you could be in a Teamsters union where they would have to have just cause to fire you. What do people say when you say that, tell them that?
They don't really believe it, and you have to actually show them different things, and they've got to learn for themselves. We give them the materials to educate themselves, and they have, you know, it's kind of, they have to go back and kind of apply some of what they learn, and they got to trust me. They got to realize I'm telling them the truth and that I'm there for them, not, you know, as you see in the movies or whatever, not just for the dues money. You know, that's our job, to go out and protect the people.
219-845-1100. Harvey Jackson's in here. That's Harvey. He's talking here, and he's a recording secretary at Local 142. And Richard Knipp, he's the secretary-treasurer at 142. Got any questions or comments of any type they'd like to hear, and they'd like to get some input from you, especially about what they might cover in future shows? Let's go to Alex on line 1. Hey, Alex, what's up?
Good morning, everybody. My fiance is a perfect example of how we're a at will state, but basically when you're protected by a union, the simplest way for me to explain this is when you're hired, your boss gives you a rule book that you have to go by, and when you join a union is the way for you to give your boss a book of rules that respect your employment there. That's all I had to say.
Wait a second. Talk about your fiance. What are you talking about?
She worked part-time at a prison in the health center of the prison, and she was going to school to better herself and use that degree at the prison, and they would only give her 20 hours a week, and it was the kind of job that as long as it got done, it didn't matter when it got done. And she asked for a 2-day schedule, 10 hours a day, to get done what she needed to get done for the doctors. And then her employer told her, no, sorry, your last day will be 30 days from now. And that's basically it. So she was fired for asking for a little bit of time for one semester of school to better herself so that she can bring that education to that job. And she was fired. So that's what at will means. It's sad. 2 months later, that same boss got fired for ghost paying himself. So there you go.
All right, man. Thanks. Hold on a second. Richard wants to say something.
Hey, Alex, is there any topics that you
You
would
know what?
like?
He hung up.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so there you go.
All right.
Yeah, so we can't ask him now unless he wants to call back.
Okay.
219-845-1100. Want to talk to Richard Cadet or Harvey Jackson? Give us a call right now. They're with the Teamsters. Let's go to line 3 with Steve. Hey, Steve, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Jed? Hey, Richard and Harvey, could you explain to people that our union dues do not go to campaigns, that's a voluntary collection that we do? I'll hang up and listen.
Oh, no, hang on the line.
Hang on the line.
Yeah, hang on the line. All right, go ahead. Explain what he's talking about.
Yeah, Steve. The Teamsters, I think, are unique in as it goes with unions and political campaign contributions. We have a fund that's set up, and it's a voluntary fund. Nobody is forced to pay into it. You sign up with a card. It's called DRIVE, and DRIVE stands for Democratic Republican Independent Voter Education Fund. And, you know, so none of the dues money is ever used from our local union to give a political campaign donation to any politician. It all comes from the international that runs DRIVE for us, and our members sign up voluntarily.
Now, Steve,
Yeah,
that's not the perception that's out there right now.
correct.
Explain what you see as the perception that's out there right now.
Well, I'm a member of the local, Teamster Local 142, and I hear all these guys talk on your radio show about the Taj Mahal, union halls that we have and everything. Like they said, our hall is in Gary. I mean, it's been there for over 50 years. We don't have a Taj Mahal. You know, same thing, I hear these people talking about that our union leaders are getting fat and that they're donating to people who they want to get elected, and they don't realize that for us, as a Teamster, we do that on a voluntary basis, and it's DRIVE, like Richard said, it's Democrat and Republican. And I just hear some of your callers thinking that, you know, all this money that our union dues are going towards, like, people getting elected that we don't want. Well, you know, I know our leadership brings it to the membership and all that. So I just wanted to make that clear.